Welcome back to another edition of the Picture Book Post. I'm Dr. Aaron Shaw. Today we're going to be taking a look at The Mysteries of Harris Burdick by Chris Van Allsburg. Now, I picked this book up. I just thought I would check it out because I read a different Chris Van Allsburg book, and I thought it was interesting up until the very end, and I thought the end was pretty terrible, but I liked the artwork a lot. So I thought, well, I'll give it a shot. He did write Jumanji and Polar Express and Zathura, and man, I'll just give it a shot and see what we got. So this book, I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that he was the author, found it at our local library. It's written, I think, in 1984. And so I was like, well, this really doesn't look all that exciting. I think I'll check it out. And I loved it. It was awesome. This is really, really good. Probably for me, I've read several of his books now, and this is by far the one I like the best. So this one is completely a concept book. And what I mean by that is that you've never read a picture book like this one. I've never read one since like that. And it's just different, but oh man, I really thought it was awesome. So what we have here is you open the book and you read. Right off the bat, there is an introduction. And usually, everyone needs to skip the introduction and move right to the book. Well, this one is the exact opposite. You have to read the introduction before you get to it, because what we have is the story, a mystery. And the mystery is that there is this guy that wrote these, that illustrated these beautiful illustrations. And he brings them into a picture book publisher and he says, hey, look, I want to get some of my writing published. And what I'll do is I'll leave off one picture from each of my 14 books that I've written, and it'll be one picture with a caption next to it, and you just tell me if you like it. I'll come back tomorrow, and if you really like it, then I'll give you the rest of the books, so these 14 books, and you can decide if you want to publish them or not. Well, so with that, he's gone, and he leaves his 14 pictures, and he never comes back again. And so it basically says, well, why don't you check out these 14 pictures and see what you think? And so all we have are the 14 pictures from 14 different books. You can tell right off the bat that the artwork is awesome. So we go through, and not only are the pictures really good, like realistic kind of drawings, but they're really interesting. So for example, this very first one, it says, Archie Smith, Boy Wonder. A tiny voice asked, is he the one? And you look over and you go, oh, that's kind of cool. But then you realize you have some lights that are floating in the air and you don't know what that's about. And you're like, whoa, I wonder what that story was about. So then you go to the next story that this guy supposedly wrote. And it's called Under the Rug. And the caption is, 2 weeks passed and it happened again. And so you look over and you go, oh cool, there's something under the rug. I wonder what's going on. It looks kind of scary. It looks interesting. And that's how every single one goes. I just want to highlight this last one here. Even on ones like this where you go, well, that's a pretty normal picture. I mean, that's not that exciting at all. Then you read the caption, A Strange Day in July. He threw with all his might, but the third stone came skipping back. And so you look at the picture again, and you see that there's a little rock over here with a shadow under it, levitating above the water, and it's the rock coming back to him after he skipped it. So you become like dying to find out, what was the rest of that story? Oh my gosh. So that's how the whole book is. Every single page in here is a different picture from a mysterious picture book that we never got to see. And so it's just really cool. My daughter told me that they had to read it in school. Actually, a couple of my daughters said that they had to read it in school as a book that kind of, the teacher would say, okay, pick one of these and then write a story about what happened behind it. I happened to know, I went and looked at it, I loved it so much I went and looked it up on Amazon, and I found out that they not only published this, but they actually published another edition of this where these famous authors came in and wrote the stories behind these pictures. So, for example, Stephen King was one of the authors, and Lemony Snicket was another one of the authors, and they just got these famous authors to come in and write the stories behind them. They couldn't have done that unless this was considered a classic and a pretty awesome book. So I was delighted to have found this. Hopefully you'll go check it out as well. This is a long review, I'm sorry, but anyway, go check it out. Really great book, and I know you'll like it. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the show.